It's kind of making a weird feeling making this type of video, but I never really fully explained who I kind of was, what type of content I do, and like why I started YouTube. So I decided to make a video all about me and why I make YouTube slash TikTok videos. Now this is gonna be coming on like the top of my head because I think again I don't make scripts for these videos. I don't write down what I want to ask people, what I want to say, and stuff like that. It's not the type of person I am. If I do ever make a script, it's probably for like a good reason. Like for example, this video and that video, I did not make a script at all explaining why CC wasn't a good person and that he fully explains the full plot of the people that he has harassed and all that stuff. But I don't have a script again. Okay, so I guess we'll start off with what my name is. I'm known as Ghost on VR chat. I was also known as Lewis VR, and my real name is Lewis. I'm 15, and I started doing YouTube a while back ago. Not on this channel. We have to go all the way back to when I started YouTube. I started YouTube on an account called Wolf King. I think it was 6 or 7. No. I'm not joking either, because the main reason why I started YouTube was because I saw my friend started a YouTube, and I'm like, yo, that's cool. I like that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a YouTube, and I'm gonna find stuff to do. I was around either 11 or 12 at the time. I was still in elementary school, and I was like, yeah, let's make this. And I made the YouTube channel, and I make videos with my friends. They weren't good quality videos. And like I've watched many YouTube accounts before, but I didn't know what to do. I don't know if I should have done gaming. I kind of just did vlogs. I messed around with my friends. And then I stopped recording on that account. I fully stopped recording. I quitted recording on that. And, you know, I did nothing else. And how I got into VR? Well, simple. I've watched someone by the name of J-Man Curly, very popular YouTuber. He got me into VR. I watched all his videos and I saw him play Gorilla Tag. And I'm like, I like this. I want to do this. And I started doing like research on like how to play a game, to play this game, and I found out it was called an Oculus. I was like, okay. And I started saving up because my mom doesn't like spending money on games. Maybe if they're like cheap, if they're like 20 or like maybe a little bit more expensive, she'll buy it for me. But if it's something, because this cost what I'm still using to this day cost me at least $300, maybe even 400. It was either 300 or 400, and I had to save up my own money. I didn't get a job or anything. I kept growing money. My friends helped me out, all that. And the day came, and I got a VR, and I was like, yes, I finally got something that I kind of earned. And the first thing I did was download Gorilla Tag, and I saw this game that I play a lot called VR Chat. I was like, okay, that's nice. Now I sat there wondering what game to play first. Now Gorilla Tag, it was late at night when I opened up my VR, but VR Chat, well, why not give that a try? I've never seen a video based off of it. No TikTok off of it. No Instagram reel off of it. Nothing about it. And I hopped on to VR chat. And then I met my first ever friend. I will never kind of forget. I hopped into a backrooms game because I loved the backrooms as a kid when I was 11 or 12. I think it was 11. Yeah, it was 11. And I loved the backrooms. I was like, I love this. I love the horror. I love the analog off of it. So I decided to hop into a Gorilla Tag World, and I met this guy. I don't remember what avatar he was wearing because I didn't know how to like fix avatars and stuff. I didn't know how to like really do stuff like that. He tried teaching me how. I never learned how until now. And we always chilled. We chilled. We hopped on. We kept playing together. I had an amazing time. I've met amazing people. I've met people like my friends Finns. Um, he was a very old friend of mine, and we loved hanging out. We hung out almost every day over the summer because I bought my VR over the summer, and I loved hanging out with him. He was a chill dude. He taught me how to play VR chat. We taught each other how to play VR chat. We also had another friend named King, but we don't know what happened to him. He went kind of missing. He never got online after us hanging out. And he kind of quitted VR chat. We still wonder what happened to him this day. We've never seen him after that. Me and Vince, we barely hang out. We barely talk, but I love that dude. He was a chill dude. I have his Discord and stuff, and we and him don't chat as much anymore. And then I discovered, hate to say it, but online dating. And I dated my first kind of girl on VR. And she was nice. She was a sweet person. I'm not gonna say their name, but they were a sweet person. Um, we had our times, our dark times together, but me and her were together for about a year and a half, and we loved each other. And I'm glad of that. I still online date for reasons. I'm not the nicest looking person. Um, me and her were together, and now we ran into a new person named Joe. Me and her did, and me and him hanging out. We still hang out to this day. We still chat. We talk about old times, and I love times like that. He's a chill dude, and me and him talked, and he had a military group. Me, I joined his military group by one of my friends because I was in another military group named Six Spartan. That was the owner of the group, and I joined his. He kind of like dragged me into his group. He's like, "Okay, you're joining my group instead of his." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. I don't really care. I just wanted a fun place to do military stuff because I used to love the military." And I joined his group, and we had so much fun there. We used to do a bunch of role plays. We used to do a bunch of trainings and stuff like that. And me and him actually became very good friends. My girlfriend liked him. She thought he was a chill dude. We met a bunch of other people he knew that we knew was very chill, and we hung out. We hung out a lot. Um, then the breakup happens between me and my girlfriend. One day, and me and her broke up, and we moved on. I couldn't move on though, because she was someone I really loved. So it was kind. Then it kept going on and off. It was an on and off relationship. Then I did a mistake one day. I did a very big mistake, and she completely moved on. And I was fully heartbroken. Me, my friends Vins, we still hung out, and my friend Silos moved on. Now, Silos, let's bring him up. Who's Silos? How'd you meet him? Well, I met Silos. I knew Silos IRL, and I didn't know he was in the VR. The funniest way we met was because at school I brought a big hospital cup to school because I didn't have any water bottles, and I'm a diabetic, and I was at the hospital. Attempt of suicide. I used my diabetes to try killing me. It's kind of dark, and I brought it, and he's like, "Yo, that's a big cup, bro. What the fuck?" And I was like, "Thanks, bro." I was proud that I was the one with the most biggest cup in the school, and me and him started hanging out. We started talking, and then one day in middle school, he brought up that he plays VR. Like, you play VR? I'm like, what do you play? And he's like, I play Gorilla Tag. I'm like, oh my god, you do too? I do too. And he's like, yo, let's go. We should play together sometime. He gave me his username. It took a while to add him, but I added him, and we started playing. We started having fun together. We kept playing, playing, playing. I tried making YouTube videos off of it, but I didn't know how to do it correctly. The first, that's how I did my first video ever. And I started doing more VR stuff with him, and we had such a fun time. We played VR chat with Joe and did the military stuff until we had a fight. I was dating this new girl that I still am dating to this day. This was about a few months ago. He called her childish and all other stuff, and I disagreed on him. Even if she was childish, sure, I still loved her and all that. And we got into that fight, and I removed him from one of my Discord groups. I didn't ghost him, but kind of did that. Also, before all this happened, I had to move from the town we used to live in into a different town. We weren't that far, but we still tried hanging out times to times. And so VR was our main way of like doing fun stuff. But yeah, he kind of got into a fight with me and my girlfriend. Excuse me, sorry. And we stopped talking. But then I met other people. I met I knew CC. Silos tried defending CC one day when CC was very power hungry and tried taking over my bar, but was gonna give it over to my other friend named Groovy, who's chill, kind of. But we stopped the bar stuff after that. I'm not gonna talk about him as much until I interview a few more people. But back to the main point. We stopped talking. I won the fight against CC when he tried getting ownership of the bar because the owner of the bar was me, but the president, you could say, because it was an empire, the emperor. He owned me basically, and I owned all of them. Emperor knew me very well. Friendship worked out. I gave him all the information that happened. He believed my side more. I won, and because they thought if they told him, oh yeah, we think Groovy should own the bar, and they all called me power hungry. They're like, okay, yeah, no, they're not gonna work there. They're not gonna get ownership because they were very power hungry. So all that stuff happened. Ooh, a boost zone. Do I want to get that? That's fine. And that happened. And I'm still dealing with stuff from CC. I stopped talking to Groovy and Steezy because another fight happened that I don't want to talk about. But that happened. So I kind of just hang out with my friend Joe. I try making other friends on the way. If I don't know people very well on VR chat, I don't hang out with them as much. Like, if look, I could go through my friends list right now, and all these people right here, like Matt, I know very well. He's a chill dude. Like Little Peep, I barely know her. Milo, I know her because of my girlfriend. Misfit, I know him for a very long time, but we and him barely hang out. Ojeto, not gonna talk about her. She's one of my girlfriend's friends, and yeah, you see that? Like, these people all barely hang out with. Like, faded person. I can't say that correctly. I call him faded pussy, but like, see, I hang out with him times and times. All this stuff. Well, I still hang out with like a few people, but I have to know them well. Like for uh Joe, like I hang out with him a lot and all that. But now getting out of this VR chat area, what do I do in the real world? Um, that's kind of hard. Um, so before I started VR, I was a I don't want to say nerd, gaming nerd. There we go, gaming nerd. That works perfectly. I had a laptop, and that's when my second channel before this one comes up. I tried making Roblox videos. They were very low quality. I don't remember the name on that one. And I tried making videos like that. I stopped. I was very cringy. And yeah, the laptop, I love the laptop. It was amazing time. I broke it uh about 2, 3 months, 4 months ago. It was slow anyways. I need to get me a new one. And I broke that. And I mainly played Roblox. That was one of my big games, Roblox. And I I stopped recording on that too. um then after I got into VR, and then I was a very big VR person. I was obsessed with VR. Um like I said, I've met nice people on VR. I met mean people on VR. I've been mean people on VR. I've been nice people on VR. People called me chill. People called me rude. People called me asshole. People called me the N word. All that type of stuff. But then, you know, I had to move, and I got evicted from my old apartment with my mom and my little brother, and I was barely able to play VR as much anymore. This was a while ago. I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. This was a long time ago, and I didn't know what to do back then. So me and my friend Carlos, since my time on being in that town was running out, we decided to start hanging out more. We called it the Hope Center, and we studied there. We did work done there, and after that, we got to play games. It was an amazing place. We got to play games. We got to draw. They had air hockey. They had basketball. They had Beyblades. They had all that cool stuff, and we loved it. We loved it there. And then the day came where I had to move, and I didn't want to move. It was a very heartbreaking time, I could say. I didn't want to move. I wanted to stay in that town. We stayed with my grandma for a while. I didn't stay for too long, and we moved into a new town. I kept going to the same school, but it was very stressful getting on time because we'd have to wake up at 5, be ready at 6 to leave. Then we had to get all the way to that town again, and then my mom had to come pick me up again, and then all this stuff. Yap, 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 bro. And back in the school, I had a friend named Deva. She goes by Kiro now. She's like, what's the right word? She's a lesbian. There we go. She's a lesbian, and I completely respected that. I didn't really care about the gays and lesbians and bis and all that because I used to be bi back then. And she said she would be my like editor. She's not to this day. I edit my own videos. I have to use AI, chap, 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 I can't fucking say it. You know, AI to make my little picture things and all that stuff. And me and her were good friends. She taught me how to draw a little. Don't know how to really draw anymore. Stopped giving up. I gave up on that, and I moved from that town. I was very emotional when I moved out of that school. I was very sad. I wanted to cry in the middle of school. I said goodbye to one of my favorite teachers. It was a social studies teacher. I was in uh, seventh grade at the time, and I'd say goodbye to one of my favorite teachers. She was very funny. She was very chill, and it made me want to cry, but I didn't. I suck it up. I turned in my computer, said goodbye to the principal. Principal was very nice. I said goodbye to the nurse, and my last day there came. I couldn't really say goodbye to Carlos that time or Deva. I gave her a simple hug, bye, and that was it. It it hurts my heart sometimes talking about it because it was a town I loved. Stayed there when I was little because back in Denver, Colorado, I couldn't really I couldn't be there anywhere because my mom got fired from her job, and with the other town, I got evicted, and now in the town I'm in, I'm chilling here, recording videos here, but it hurts talking about that time. God, I'm kind of sorry for trauma dumping on you guys, but I want to talk about me. But back to what we were talking about. I loved hanging out in that town. I loved all the people in there. People liked me there, kind of. I hope they did. And I moved. I moved to this town I'm living in now. I was scared the first day I moved to the school because it was like middle of the year. I barely knew anyone there, and I kept going there. I struggled. I struggled a lot, make friends and all that. That's when I kind of got like what kind of my I don't want to say first girlfriend because we have a few other people I dated, and I liked her. Um, I had a crush on her, and everyone thought me and her were dating. And me and her got together that time. Around that time, we broke up about 2 years. A year later, it was kind of an on and off relationship around the ending too. And we stopped. We still talk because we gotta go to the same school. We have the same classes and all that. So it eh. and I stopped, and I didn't have internet around the time, so I wasn't able to do any recording. So I'd explain to people on the internet why I wasn't recording. And, I got internet, and then I started recording again. I started playing VR chat again because I stopped playing VR chat. I learned how to play a little to play the electric guitar, and I love doing all that stuff. I started gaming, and I started getting on here again. Me and my friend Joe, we bonded again. We started hanging out again, and then I met my new girlfriend today, and I do this now. I do all this stuff, and I love it. I love that every time I get off of school, if I want to, I could record a video off of VR chat, off of, well, not Gorilla Tag, because I still have one arm. And I get to do all this stuff. I get to hang out with people I love hanging out with. You sure it's a pixel game? You guys might be like, oh, it's not that serious. For me, it kind of is. I love this place. I love that I get to hang out here. I get to hang out with people. I get to do stuff I can't do in the real world. I get to talk to people who don't live near me. And it's amazing. But I'm gonna say that's it for now. I don't think there's really anything else to bring up and say who I am. So, you know, yeah, I think that's it. Well, this is the end of this video, guys. If you have any VR chat like videos you guys want to see, I'll just put it in the comments. I'll do it. If you guys want me to do something instead of VR, tell me on that. I'll probably do that. Any other stuff. Anyways, guys, loved hanging out, loved talking about it, love trauma dumping, kind of. But this is it for now. I hope I can think of more recording ideas to do. And I hope you all have a lovely day, an amazing day. VR has changed my life. And if you guys play VR, you probably do agree. I wouldn't say don't get stuck into it. Don't do it like 24/7 like most people do. You guys should enjoy VR chat, meet new people. But anyways, this is the end of this video. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, well, subscribe of course. And if you have any recommends, comment. Love you guys.